Merhabalar herkese. Hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün gerçek bir Amerikalı gibi konuşabilmek için Troy Üniversite ESL programlarını Lens'ten dinliyor olacağız. Lütfen sorularınızı soru cevap bölümünden yönlendiriniz. Yes, Lens, the stage is yours now.
Okay, great. Hello, how is everyone? So this is going to be interactive. So if you hopefully you can use your microphone or use the chat. Zeynep, can they see the chat? Do they have?
Yes, they have the chat function, but they cannot speak.
Oh, they cannot speak. Okay. So, can you see my screen? Here's chat.
Yes, we can see.
Great. So my name is Lance Noe, and I am from Troy University in Troy, Alabama. I am the English as a second language director, and I've been teaching for 21 years. That's a very long time to be teaching. And I have lived in Korea and Australia and Turkey. I lived in Adana. So you probably know the kebab. It's very delicious and I miss it. So I have some people saying hello in the chat. Hello, everyone. So my hobbies are cooking and traveling, and I like to watch terrible TV. I don't want to watch anything serious. So merhaba, everyone. A little bit about my where I am. I'm at Troy University, and that's in the Alabama. So here's Florida. You can see Disney World here. We're about 6 hours drive to Disney World. We are about 3 hours to Atlanta and about 5 hours to New Orleans. It's very warm here. We typically in the summer, our temperature is around 40 degrees. So very warm. We're close to the beach. I'll tell you a little bit more about our school at the end, but let's get started on why we are here. Yes, Serhat, kebab is great, and I am very excited. I will be at the IEFT event in March in Istanbul. So if you're interested, you can come by the booth and say hello. So I will be there. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to talk about the textbook English versus what Americans specifically usually say. So that's not always the same. Usually what you learn in the textbook is not the way we actually speak. Before we start, can everybody understand me? Am I too fast or too slow? Is it okay? Okay. So if I go too fast, just tell me and I will slow down. All right. So when someone says, "How are you?" you learn to say, "I'm fine, thank you, and you?" But American people do not say this. Do you have any idea? If you say, "I'm fine," to an American, do you know what that means to us? Do you have any idea what that means to us? I'm fine. You can put it in the chat and I can see it. So you say, "How are you?" An American says, "How are you?" And you say, "I'm fine." What does that mean? I'm fine. Okay. And please forgive me if I say your name wrong, but Halime said good. Yeah, so good, I'm good. Anyone else? I'm fine. Okay. This does not mean I'm good to an American. To an American, if they ask you, "How are you?" and you say, "I'm fine," it means stop talking to me. Yeah, I don't know why this is in textbooks. So most Americans, if you say I'm fine, if an American says I'm fine, it means I don't want to talk. It is it's a no answer. So what should you do? You should say exactly how you feel. Americans are very expressive. And we say our feelings. So I'm good, I'm okay, I'm all right, I'm sleepy, I'm hungry, I want to go home. However you're feeling, that's what you should say. So try to practice not saying I'm fine. And Americans would never say, and you. We would not say that. Now, if you're passing in the hallway and you're like, hey, how are you? I'm fine. That's okay because you're not wanting to talk. But if you want to talk to an American, don't say I'm fine. Say I'm good or I'm bad or I'm okay. I'm hungry, I'm sleepy. That starts a conversation and we like that. So had you heard that before? Did you know that? You can put in the chat, yes or no. No, Sirhat said no, he did not. They did not know that. Oh, Halima knew that. Maybe you came to the United States before. Yeah, we use this expression a lot. When we go to the store in America, the people at the store are very friendly. You know, hi, how are you? And I'm fine. So please leave me alone. Don't talk to me. Okay, let's look at the next expression that's different than the textbook than in real life. Let's have lunch sometime. What do you think this means? Let's have lunch sometime. Oh, Osman knew that. Good, Osman. What about this one? Let's have lunch sometime. What do you think that means? Any guesses? I want to see how you eat. Good. Anyone else? Let's have lunch sometime. Okay. Well, this does not mean what you think it means. It means I'm saying this to be polite. I don't want to meet you. So if someone says, let's have lunch or let's have dinner sometime, they're just being nice. They don't really mean it. They can also say, oh, we should get together sometime, meaning we should meet and have dinner. Or I should have you guys over one night, meaning I should have you at my house. You're never going to their house. We're just saying this to be nice and polite, but it does not mean that. What about in Turkish? I'm trying to remember. In Turkey, when people said you should come to my house, they meant it, like come to my house and eat and have some tea. But in the United States, if someone says lunch, they don't want to meet you. But what about this one? Let's have coffee sometime. Does that mean the same thing or does that mean something different? So Kareem says, let's have coffee sometime. So yeah, so I'm asking about that. So is coffee and lunch the same? Is the meaning the same? What do you guys think? Yes or no? What do you think? The same or different? Siljan says yes. Surat says same. Okay, good. This actually means I like you and I would like to see you again. So this is more, this can be professional. Oh, let's have coffee sometime, meaning I want to meet again. But it can also be romantic. Like if someone says, oh, we should have coffee sometime, that means that they like you and they want to see you again. But if they say dinner or lunch, they don't want to see you again. It's very confusing. I don't know why we do this, but we do. You would think that dinner is more romantic than coffee, but this is what we do. So if someone says, let's have coffee sometime, then your answer should be, great, when are you free? Or what about next Tuesday? Or I'm free Friday. So if you hear coffee, then your job is to pick a time and a day. If someone says, let's have lunch sometime, you just go, yeah, that would be great. And move on, because you know that they don't mean it, you don't mean it. But if they say, let's have lunch sometime, and you want to have coffee, then you should say, oh yeah, we should meet for coffee. So that tells them that you are more serious and you really want to see them. If you don't want to see them, you can just say, oh yeah, we should have dinner or we should have lunch. Do you do the same in Turkish? Is this the same? My Turkish was not good enough to know. Plus, everyone spoke to me in English. They wanted to practice. Oh, it's the same. Okay, great. I do love Turkish coffee. So if you ever invite me for coffee, I'm coming. So you should say, let's have lunch instead of coffee. Oh, it is the same because lunch and dinner are difficult to make. Yeah. Oh, I'm always welcome. Thank you. I love Turkey, so I'm always happy to come visit. All right, let's look at the next one. Let me call you back. So you're on the phone with someone, hello, and you say, let me call you back. Do you mean it? Do you really mean that? Let me call you back. So, Karim, actually, we're trying to avoid your call. We don't want to talk to you. Now, sometimes it's not rude. Maybe we are busy. But let me call you back means right now I cannot talk. But maybe in the future, I will talk to you. On the other hand, we have let me get back to you on that. I'm going to get back to you. Oh, because you're a person of your word. Oh, that's very nice. Americans are not. That's great. In a professional setting, it's sometimes you will hear these expressions. Let me call you back. That means right now I cannot talk. But let me get back to you. You're never going to hear from them again. So if you're doing a visa, or if you're doing professional paperwork for a job, and they say, let me call you back, then they will call you back. But if they say, let me get back to you on that, you will have to remind them because they will forget. So usually get back to you on that is you're not going to get an answer. So you will need to call them or you will need to email them again. This happens a lot in the visa process, or it happens a lot when you're trying to get a job. Yeah. So Osman says, it means I will call you back when I'm available. You think that's what it means, but typically if they want to get back to you, they'll say, I'll call you back. But if they say, let me get back to you, they are going to forget it. So you will need to call them back or email them again. Does that make sense? Do you understand those differences? Kind of, okay. Yeah, so this is a very subtle thing, but if they say call you back, it's important to them and they will do it. But let me get back to you is a way for Americans to say to someone, I'm going to forget this, so remind me. So yeah, so if it's short, that's good. If it's long, you will have to follow up. Okay. So the next one, I think most people do this, but if you're telling a story and an American keeps interrupting, wow, yeah, fantastic, great, okay, then we are usually not listening. In the United States, we usually don't interrupt a story. We try to let you tell your story without interruption. Some countries, this is not nice to do. You're supposed to respond when someone is talking. So I speak Korean. I lived in Korea for 8 years. And it's very rude in Korea if someone is talking and you don't make sounds as they're talking. So you're supposed to go, yeah, But in America, we think this is rude. We think that you're not listening to me. So if someone is interrupting you when you're talking, then they're not listening. If you're talking and they're like, oh yeah, okay, oh wow, oh, they're not listening. What about Turkey? Do people in Turkey interrupt when other people are talking? I know the answer, but I just want you to tell me. Is it polite? Yeah, of course. Yeah. So that's not seen as impolite in Turkey to interrupt people when they're talking. But here in the United States, typically, if someone's telling a story, we let them tell the story and we sit and we wait for our turn. Yeah. That's not true everywhere in the United States, but so if you go to New York or New Jersey or places at Chicago, there's more interruption. But if you are where I am from, it is very impolite. It's not nice to interrupt people. Okay. So this is something I hear and I see a lot in students writing and in their speaking. So usually your textbook will teach you the word very to show emphasis. But in the United States, we rarely say very. We usually say really. So if you want to sound more like a native speaker, change very to really. So we use very if we don't have an opinion, or it's not important. This sandwich is very good. It's neither good nor bad. But if I say this sandwich is really good, then it's to show emphasis. So very has no opinion, really has an opinion. So that's the easiest way to think about that. How many of you use very? And how many of you, do you use really often? If you speak English, do you use very or do you use really? Most books teach very, so I'm assuming that you use very. Yeah, I'm seeing very come in, yeah. So if you want to sound like a native speaker, change your very to really. It takes practice. I am really good, yay. So the next one we have is so. And this is used to show emphasis. That movie was so good. Or this salad is so disgusting. So so here's very, here's really, and here's so. So we have degrees of emphasis. And if you really want to show that something is important or you have a very strong opinion, then you're going to use to, T-O-O. And this is to show that something is either impossible or it's better than better or worse than worse. That is too expensive. That is too hard. That is the top. It's impossible. I cannot do it. Or you don't believe it. If someone says you something and you're like, oh, that's too interesting, then that means I don't really believe you. It's hard to imagine that it's that good. So this is something that they don't normally teach in your textbook. So most students that I see and most people that learn English outside of the United States typically use very, but in the United States, these are very different. We use them differently. Do you have any questions about that or anything else that we've talked about? You can put it in the chat. I feel like a YouTube person. Leave your comments, like and subscribe. But if you have, let me know if you have any questions. Have you heard this information before? Is this new information or had you heard this before? It's new. Okay, that's good, Sarhat. Oh, isn't too used negative? It can be. So it's too expensive. It's too far. Usually that does mean a negative, yeah, but not always. You can sometimes, let me see if I can give a positive example. You can say it's too exciting. Like I was so excited. I was the biggest excitement that you can have. Oh, here's some first time. Too good to be true. That means that I don't believe that. Yeah, that's too good to be true. Like I don't, that doesn't seem real. That's a very good example. Thank you. Yes, when we use to, like I said, it's impossible. There's something about it that's not real. We often do not use these words in our writing, in our professional writing. Now, in a text or an email, these words are okay. But if you're writing an essay, so for example, if you're going to take TOEFL or IELTS or a Duolingo test for school, then you don't want to use any of these words. These are okay for casual conversation, but they are not good for professional writing. So try to avoid these words in your professional writing. Sometimes in your writing, you can say so as a transition to show this thing. So then this happened, cause and effect. But to show emphasis, we would not use that in writing. Oh, please ask your questions in the Q&A box. Oh, sorry, I wanted them in the chat. Sorry, Zainab. Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions. You can interrupt me at any time. I don't care. Okay, so now we're going to look at something a little funny that English does. This is speaking. So we have this word. Do you know this word? Do you know what this word means? I'll let you read it and then I will say it. If I say it, it will help you. Do you know what this word might mean? Balta? Balta. Do you know Balta? Yeah. Yeah, about to. Yeah, it means about to. I am about to. But in American English, we push words together. We are very lazy. Our tongues are very lazy. So I'm about to go to the store. So you probably will not use these words in your speaking, but you need to hear these words and know what they mean. So I'm about to go to the store. I'm about to have class. So instead of about to, we push it together, bouta. What about that one? What about this word? What do you think this word means? Okay, I see want to, won't you? Yeah, won't you? Won't ya? Hey, I'm going to the store. Won't you go with me? I'm about to go to the store. Won't you go with me? Won't ya? So again, you're going to hear that. You probably won't say it this way, but you need to listen for these contractions. Won't ya? And then we have have to. Have to. This one's pretty easy, I think. What do you think, have to? Does it mean half of something? Have to. Oh, is it? It's a Turkish word meaning a week? Have to. That's funny. So have to. I have to go. I have to teach in 30 minutes. I have to remember to give Zeynep some money for my tour. I have to eat. Yeah, have to. Yeah, Zeynep, I will pay you, I promise. This one's pretty easy, I think. I'm a. So I'm going to. So if you combine all this, I'm about to go to the store. Yeah. Oh, good, Karim. I'm going to. I'm a. So if anyone says I'm a, you can also use this as I am. I'm a. Yeah. So you'll hear that a lot. And this is all over the United States. Now, in California, they usually don't use these types of contractions, but here in the South and in the Northeast, New York, Chicago, those places, Texas, Florida, we use these contractions a lot. But if you go to California, you will not hear them as much. What about that one? I think this one's easy now that you understand the pattern. Supposed to. So that's supposed to. I'm supposed to call someone. Yeah, good. Yes. I want to say your name is Merve, but I think that's wrong. So I'm sorry. Merve? Zeynep, can you help me pronounce that correctly?
It's Marve.
Marve. Thank you. I need to come back to Turkey and practice my Turkish. Okay. S'more. Now, in the United States, we have a snack called a s'mores. It's usually served in the summer. You have a cinnamon cookie, you have marshmallows, you have chocolate, and then a cinnamon cookie. And you put the marshmallow in the fire and it gets melty. And then you put that on the cookie and then chocolate and then a cookie and you smush them. And we call that a s'mores. But Halime, she said, they said some more. And that is correct. S'more is some more. Do you want s'more? Do you want s'more? We don't think about it, but it sounds very funny. Yonta. Yonta. What does yonta mean? What do you guys think? Yonta. I want s'mores. Yes, they're very delicious, actually. I do love s'mores. I love marshmallows, so yeah. What about yonta? Yonta. Do you want to? Oh, it's the first time you're hearing this. That's great. I love it. I'm teaching. Yay, I get to do my job today. Yonta. Hey, yonta go to the store? Yonta go to the movies? It's very quick. It's very fast. Do you want to is 4 syllables. Yonta. We like to push it together and make it fast. So, do you want to? We just make yonta. Hey, yonta, go with me. Hey, I'm about to go to the store. Yonta, go with me. I know it sounds funny to your ear right now, but if you came to the United States, you would hear this a lot, and it's very confusing, actually. Now, this one is only in our southern area. So Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Texas, those areas use this expression. So you're not going to hear this expression in Chicago or New York or California. But we say it a lot in Alabama. Fixin' to. And that is, I am about to do something. So I'm fixin' to go to the store. I'm fixin' to teach my class. I'm fixin' to eat. I'm fixin' to have some coffee. So it means I'm about to do something. But that only is in the South. Like I said, you're going to hear that in this area. You may not hear that in other places. This is hard, I know. But these are things that you're going to learn if you come to study English in the United States as opposed to staying in your home country. I have an ESL program, and these are some of the things that we teach. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Hi, Lance. I have one word. Can I say that too?
Sure.
It's whatchamacallit.
Whatchamacallit. Yeah, I'll put that in the chat so that people can see. Whatchamacallit. So it means I don't know the word. And it literally means, what do you call that? Or what is the name of that? And you're like, oh, we went to that, the whatchamacallit. Whatchamacallit. It's all one word. And so that means I don't know the name. What do you call it? What do you call that? But we just shrink it into one word, whatchamacallit. And we say it very fast. Whatchamacallit, you know. So yeah, oh, that's a good one. I'm going to add that to my list. I think that's it. So for the contractions, is that new information for you? Is that something you're learning today? Or did you know that? Yes, okay, so that's new. I'm glad you came. You learned something. Yes. Most of them are new. That's good. That's good. So When you do webinars like this, hopefully you always learn something, and that is great. I know IEFT often has webinars, and so if you continue to do those, you'll hopefully always learn something new. Zainab, how are we on time? Do we still have time?
Yes, we have like 10 minutes and then we can slowly wrap up.
Okay, so we're going to talk about some weird American culture things. These are some things that Americans do that are weird. We are obsessed with money. We love to talk about money, but we cannot talk about money. It's considered rude to talk about money, even though we are obsessed with it. So, you can never ask someone in the United States, how much money do you make? That's considered very rude. But we ask around the question. We say, is that a good living? Or does that pay well? Or that sounds like a cushy job. And I've underlined this word, cushy. Do you know this word, cushy? That sounds like a cushy job. Okay, I've got Merve, no, Salamat, no. Okay, yay, I get to teach. I love it. Comfortable. Sort of like comfortable. Cushy means that it's not hard work. It's a mixture of cushion, like a pillow cushion, and comfortable. So it's not hard. So it's not difficult. So cushy. And we usually use the word cushy to talk about jobs or about a situation. So you can say, if someone's talking about something that they did and you say, oh, that sounds very cushy, that means it's not a problem, it's very easy, it's not difficult. So when we say that sounds like a cushy job, it means that it's easy and it pays high. So, yeah. Also, in most workplaces, it's actually illegal to talk about how much money you make to your coworkers. Now, I work for a state school, so that is public knowledge. Everyone knows what people make. But at some corporations, you are not allowed to tell your other coworkers how much money you make, because sometimes people do the same job for different pay. I'm sure that's not true in Turkey. It's true everywhere, but in America, it can actually be illegal and you can be fired for that. Usually you are not, but you could be. Okay, let's look at something else that's weird about America. The bubble. Oh, the bubble. When the pandemic began and we had to stand 6 feet apart from one another, this was not a problem for Americans because we love personal space. We like to have a bubble around us. We do not stand close to each other. We want some space between us. When I was in Turkey in October, was that October, Zainab? Oh no. I went to Taksim Square and it was, my American body was like, oh, I have to get out. It's too many people. It's too many people. I need my bubble. I need my bubble. So here's a little picture. Here's me. If we are intimate, if we're very, very close, you can be here in the red. Oh, where did it go? You can be in the red bubble, but usually you stay in that orange bubble. You stay out. And then social space is in the green. And then public space is way out there. Yes, Turkish people do like to be close to each other. Yeah, it's always intimate in the bus. Oh, the bus. Oh no, the bus in Turkey. Now, I don't know where you live, but in Adana, the buses were very small and they were always full of people. Istanbul, yes, it's very crowded in Istanbul. Yeah, very, very crowded. But in America, even on the subway, even on buses and subway, we try to give each other space. And if we're touching, we apologize. If I'm standing on the bus and I'm like this, we will all say, I'm sorry to each other. I'm sorry, sorry, sorry. If we're too close, we will apologize. Yes, Americans will shake hands instead of hugging unless they're very close. Young people hug. Yeah. And if you know someone very well, like when I see Zainab in March, we're going to hug. So because we like each other. I think we like each other. So here's some examples of when you'll see the bubble. In restaurants, when you go to a restaurant, if someone is sitting here, they will not sit you next to them. They will sit you on opposite sides of the room. They will fill up all the areas so that everyone has space. But in many countries, they will, if there's a table here, they'll set the next people here and then the next people here. But not in the United States. We spread you out. Lining up in a queue. Let's say you're at McDonald's. You have to line up behind each other. You cannot just jump in anywhere you want. You have to line up. We love to line up. And we keep our distance in the line. I know that sometimes when I go to different countries, I'm standing here and the person behind me is like right here. It makes me very nervous. I don't like it. I'm like, why are they so close to me? We call this elbow room. I want enough room for my elbows. I should have enough room. We call this elbow room. I know this is not the same in Turkey because there's many, many, many people. So Americans, we love a line. We love to line up. And there's no singing and dancing in public. And turn off your music. So you always should have headphones in. And our parties are very dull. Now here's another word I've underlined. Do you know the word dull? Do you know that word? Dull? That's right. It means boring. Yeah. Our parties are very boring. We mostly just stand around, talk to each other, and drink. There's no music. There's no dancing. There's no singing. I know this is probably very strange, but that is the way. Now, in college, it's very different. There's always dancing and music and parties, but in most American parties, you just stand around and talk to each other in little small groups. And a lot of people think this is very, very boring. Yes, yes, Turkey, you dance a lot. Yes, that is true. Americans are early eaters and we are picky eaters. Typically, dinner in America is around 6:30 or 7. Anything past 7, that's very late for us to eat. We eat dinner very early. I know that in Istanbul, many restaurants don't even open until 7:30. And I've underlined another word, picky. Do you know this word, picky? Picky. Do you know that word? So yeah, selective. So they pick this one, they pick this one, they pick this one, but they don't pick that one. In the United States, when we go to a restaurant and order a salad, they make the menu But Americans will be like, oh, I want this, but I don't want that. And can you give me this, but not that? And I want this on the side. So many people don't want the dressing, dressing, oil and vinegar. We don't want that on the salad. We want to do it ourselves. So sometimes I want a little, sometimes I want a lot. Selective, that's correct, selective. The waiter will bother you in America. They constantly coming to your table. I know that in Turkey, if I want water or if I want something, many times I have to ask. Hello, merhaba. But in America, they're always here. Breakfast is usually sweet. I know that you probably know pancakes. So breakfast is usually sweet in the United States. And we dress for comfort. Yeah, muffins, yes. Oh, I love a muffin. And we dress for comfort. Many people say that Americans are sloppy. Now, here's my last word, my last vocabulary word, sloppy. What do you think sloppy means? Do you know that word, sloppy? Casual PJs, okay, yeah. So it means not tidy, not organized. So sloppy means that you don't look put together, or, oh, can I show you my, oh, I don't want to show you my desk. My desk is pretty neat. I don't like being sloppy, but sloppy is things are everywhere. It's not organized. So if we dress sloppy, our shirt is too big, we don't look professional. And many Americans, I hate to say, do not look professional. We're wearing pajamas to work. We wear, you know, sports clothes to Walmart. Messy, yeah, it's like messy. Slippers, yes, we wear slippers outside. It's terrible. Yeah, do not come to America for fashion. So very quickly, I think we have like 1 minute left. I'll tell you a little bit about our ESL program. So we have 2 types of programs for learning English here at Troy University. You can come and study here on campus. You will have class every day, Monday through Friday, and every day you will study grammar, reading, writing, and listening and speaking. And we have a $1,000 scholarship if you want to come and to the United States, to Troy University and study. I'm going to put in the chat our tuition cost for 8 weeks of study. We have terms of 8 weeks. So it's $1,775 to come and study for 8 weeks. But if you have a scholarship, then it's $775 to come to study for 8 weeks. Now you also need to pay for your house and your food and shopping, but we try to help you come to study English. And if you have questions, you can always email me. I'll put my email here. And then of course you can contact Zainab, and she will help you get in contact with me. But we also, if you can't leave the country, I know it's very expensive to travel. Yeah. So we also have English courses online. And those classes, so the class today, Listen and Speak Like a Native, that's going to teach you things like about to, want to, got to, really, very, so, and to. Those types of things will be in that class. Then we have English Medley, which is weird things that English does. There, to. Those all mean different things. But we also have grammar classes, writing classes, reading classes, listening and speaking classes. Not right now, but in fall, I'm going to be teaching a class called Speak to Me. And that class is, I will put a question every week, a couple of questions, and then you're going to record yourself answering those questions in about 2 or 3 minutes. And then you will respond to other students' answers. And then I will give you feedback on your speaking and how to improve your speaking. Basically, this class is just a chance for you to speak English with a native person and to get some feedback. So it's like a conversation club, but online. And we're going to start that in the fall. So if you're interested in that class. And so it will be interactive. Our classes, once a week, you will meet with your teacher. And then also you have interactive videos. The teacher puts a video on the page, and then there are questions in the video. So it's very interactive. And if you have any questions, you can always email your teachers. And this is my information. Again, my name is Lance Noe, and I am at Troy University. My email is very easy, lnoe@troy.edu. And then this is our website, www.troy.edu/ESL. Now, we have some questions in the Q&A, so I'm going to go to there and see what those are. Can you explain the usage of the or they? Yes. So there are actually 2 pronunciations of this word. So we have the, like with a strong E, and then we have the. So we use the when the next word has a vowel. So the end, the apple, the umbrella. And we use the when the next word, yes, you should say really, thank you. So we use the when the next word starts with a consonant. So the balloon, the car. And we use the or the when there's only one, or when there's many things that make one thing. So for example, a sports team. The Chicago Bears. That's a sports team. I know Turkey has a soccer team, so we would say the Turkish, and then the name of the team. But we use the or the when there's only one. The sun, the moon, there's only one. So yeah. Halima, did that answer that question about the and the? Okay, what is the tuition fee for your program? Actually, that's in the chat. It's $1,775 for 8 weeks. We also do short-term programs for 2 weeks or 4 weeks, but those are usually for a group of people who are coming at the same time. And we also do trips. So we'll go to the beach, we'll go to Disney World, we'll go to Montgomery, which is our capital, but you need a group for that. That may be something that IEFT and I work together with. We will talk about that in March, I guess. But if you want to come and study, we will try to help you get here. I understand that the inflation rate in Turkey is wild. It is crazy right now, and I'm sorry about that. But we do have the scholarship, and we will try to help. Do you have any discount or scholarship for Turkish students? Yes. So we have the $1,000 to come study English, but our university gives an automatic 50% tuition discount. So our tuition goes from $18,000 to $9,000 automatically. You do nothing. It's a gift. and to study for 1 year here in the United States at our school, Troy University, for your class, your food, your books, your house, for everything for 1 year is 20,000 American dollars. And you do not have to pay that before coming, and you do not have to pay that at one time. You pay 10,000 your first semester, so you have 4 months to pay 10,000, and then you have another 4 months to pay the other 10,000. And you can work on campus. You cannot work off campus. You can work on campus 20 hours a week. And usually those jobs pay enough for your house or for your food. And we have other scholarships available on top of that. So, but those are based on your grades and your need. All right. Am I the one teaching? Well, it depends on the class. If I go back, let me see if I can go back. So the classes that I teach are the Reading 1 and the Reading 2 class. And then I will teach the Speak to Me class. I used to teach the vocabulary builder class. So the videos are me, but the teacher, the person who grades your work is a different teacher, but the videos are me. So I do the Reading 1 and the Reading 2 and the paragraph outlining. This is very advanced class. And then in fall, I will be the teacher for Speak to Me. And then I'm the person who did the videos for the vocabulary builder. I don't know if you want to take those classes or if you want to avoid those classes. I hope this was interesting. I hope you had a good time. I had a good time. I thank you very much. I thank you a lot for writing your answers in the chat. That was awesome. I like to be interactive. I don't want to just be talking. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you had a good time. And you can email me anytime. And again, I'm going to be at the event, the IEFT event. Zeynep, that's March 18 and 19, correct? The
Yeah.
Istanbul, the European side?
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday. So if you came today, please come to my booth and say hello. I will have some gifts to give out. I will have some pens and backpacks and things like that with Troy University. And I would love to meet you. Just tell me that you did the webinar. And if you want any information, you can email me. Zeynep, do you have their names and email address?
Yes, I will send them to you tomorrow.
Then I will create a certificate of participation for everyone, and then I will email that to you saying that you participated in this webinar, and then you can have that as a receipt that you studied English, and that will be like professional development if you need that for your job. So yeah, I can give you a certificate for that. That's no problem. And it'll just say, you know, participation in the IEFT webinar, textbook versus real English. So yeah, but it'll be a little something. And then you'll have my email address. Zeynep, is that okay? Am I allowed to do that? I didn't ask before I said that.
Yes, we can talk about it later, maybe.
Okay.
It's a really good thought.
Sure.
Yeah.
So does anyone have any other questions? I'll stop sharing my screen. Any other questions?
Looks like you covered all of it.
Okay. Well, I really am happy to meet you. It was so exciting to be with you. And I had such a good time, too much of a good time. So thank you again for coming.
Yes, thank you very much. Sorry, thank you really much for this great session. We had a really amazing time and it was very informative for the attendees. They learned a lot of things, I believe. And also I would like to thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. Umarım sizin için de faydalı bir webinar olmuştur. Troy University ESL programları ile ilgili diğer sorularınız için Lens'le paylaşmış olduğum mail adresinden iletişime geçebilirsiniz. Bir sonraki webinarlarımızda görüşmek üzere. Thank you very much again, Lens. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.